Hello everyone and welcome to another real estate video. This is Javier Vidana, the real estate YouTube guy here in Phoenix, Arizona, helping you accomplish your home goals. Today's video is going to be a little more lighthearted. If you're looking for real estate advice, this video is not going to be that, unfortunately, but guess what? I got almost 100 videos on it, so feel free to watch any of them more. So this video is actually going to be a little more personal. I get all the time I get asked, how did you get into real estate? What made you become a realtor? And more specifically, what made you go into the YouTube lane? So in today's video, I am going to just talk about a little more about myself personally, how I got into real estate, what my journey was. If this is the first time watching the video, welcome to the channel. I usually make weekly real estate education videos to help you accomplish your home goals. Your subscription and like would mean a lot to me. And for long-time viewers, I would love to hear if you want more of this personal stuff or you just want me to shut up and talk about real estate stuff. So I bet you want to hear, as a young kid, I was a real estate prodigy. I came out of the womb and the first thing I asked my mom was like,
"Hey mom, how much equity you got in your house right now? Let's try to sell it."
Truth be told, guys, I had absolutely no interest and didn't even know the world of buying or selling real estate. I know there's a lot of realtors out there that their mom or uncle or aunts were real estate agents. That's not the case with me. I have absolutely nobody in my family who's in real estate. So I grew up in the Phoenix, Arizona area, around 51st Avenue, Indian School, Thomas, if you happen to be in Arizona. But for those that are not in Arizona, basically grew up in the lower to middle class area of Phoenix. Grew up, I was the only kid. My mom and dad, when I was 9 years old, divorced. So at that point, it was a very interesting situation where my dad married again, and I was the oldest brother of a family of 6 or 7, and they continued growing, and I was still the only child with my mom, who was single for the majority of my childhood. I had this really interesting dynamic where I had to learn leadership skills and what to say and not to say to your younger siblings, but at the same time being a spoiled brat with my mom because I was the only child there. So in junior high school is actually where I found my high school had a really famous and successful guitar program that traveled all over the country, and this was the first time in my life that I said, I want to do this. It usually takes 3 years to get to the advanced level. So what I did is I actually, in a span of one semester, 3 to 6 months, I did 3 years worth of courses to catch up to the advanced program to, get in the program. And by the second semester, junior year, I was in that program, and this is where I met my friends. This is where I met my girlfriend, who ended up being my wife now. I met, this basically established me and my character and my, who I became. Kind of just didn't do nothing. I was in college for a year, 2 years. I played in a Mexican folk music band, playing the bass to get by. I would be being paid cash. Literally the bass line for the most Mexican folk music is dun 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 or dun 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 dun. That was me. I was that guy. During this time, I somehow or another was introduced to a person who mentored a real estate agent and offered me a job as a assistant. I got paid cash. I showed up every day, and this was my first opportunity to kind of show somebody my worth. At this point, I was at a low point in my life. I wasn't really doing great. All this potential I had just kind of shattered and cracked, and I had to learn the hard way, like, your potential doesn't mean anything. You have to work hard at it. So I was an assistant for like a year or 2 years. Learned a lot about the business then and there. But what I ended up realizing about real estate that I ended up loving was the potential of growth, right? As soon as you get your license, which is about, in Arizona, 90 hours and a few $1,000s of fees and passing a state and federal test and all this stuff, you're at equal playing field with everyone else. My license is just as good as someone else's license who has a doctorate in business or an MBA, or he was a former accountant, or he was a former superstar. I don't care. At the end of the day, once you got your real estate license, it was pure grit and hard work, and that's what differentiated you from the other realtors. So when I was able to get my license finally, I like to tell you that I became a super successful guy, and I started just killing it, and I became the success that you know today, but I failed miserably. I didn't do that many deals. I couldn't figure out what my thing was. Remember, at the time I was 19. I got my license when I was 19. I got by for a year or two, closed maybe 10 or 12 deals a year. After that point on, I joined a giant team, and so when you join a team in real estate, guys, it's like going to college, right? You join a team, hopefully, that can say, we're going to give you a bunch of people to call every day. There's this new pipelines of Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, or whatever that you're going to be converting to clients. And then there's also going to be you cold calling people. So for about 2 years, I joined one of the biggest teams in this part of the valley, in the area I live now. And I just learned how to hustle. Cold calling 3 hours a day. Literally, I would call neighborhoods. They would put like a cold caller. We'll try to do at least 30 contacts a day, which usually was like 100 to 200 dials on a cold call, just calling. Got yelled at so many times, but in this year and a half, I developed basically 2 things. How realtors, specifically in teams, are trained to use scripts to convince people to buy. And secondly, I just developed like this unnerving like ability to just call or just figure it out, just if I can cold call a list for hours, there's a lead that wants to talk to me, I can talk to them and I can just tell them how it is. I worked in this team for about year and a half, 2 years. And I was not the top agent, but one of their top agents, I would like to say, on the buyer side at least. And everything was great. I was 23, 24 years old. I just had my first son. I think it was at that time. Nolan was born. And I was actually 21 or 22. I wasn't 23 yet, I believe. And everything was great, but I got fired. I always knew I had ambitions to go on my own. I didn't do a YouTube channel then. I didn't do any of that then. I was just not even doing open houses. I was just like, this isn't mine. I always felt in my heart this wasn't mine, and I don't want to work hard for it. And it showed. Whenever there was issues with the team and the conflict, I wouldn't go talk to the leaders about it. I would go talk to my friends, my teammates, be like, hey, what the heck's going on? Just shooting the shit with them, right? Instead of working like a real team and being, you know what, I'm gonna bring this up. Let's not talk crap about this. I'm gonna bring this up to the leaders and see how we can make this work. But I kind of just like 23, 24 at the time. At this point, I've had tons of experience. I was already, 3 to 4 years in the industry. I got a lot of experience, just accelerated growth with that team. And I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. I started my solo career at that point. I guess I had 1 or 2 years on my own before, but those were just lazy years. At 23, 24, I started my solo career, and I started doing open houses. That's the only thing I could do is I borrowed signs and I did open houses every Friday and Saturday. And slowly but surely, I would start meeting people. And I eventually grew this little business to be like, instead of, I did, I think 10 or 5 or 10 when I was on my own before the team. I was doing like 15, 20 just in pure open houses. And this is what I kind of regret, this part of my life. Nolan, my son, was maybe 1 to 3 years old then. And I missed a lot because I was doing a lot of open houses. I did maybe about 2 years of this, and eventually it slowly grew until like I was just exhausted of open houses. I was just so tired of them. I didn't want to do them anymore. You kind of have to be kissing butt to people when they get into the door. You have to be very like there. So basically, and most of the clients I would get would be people who were working with realtors already, but they were like, the realtor wasn't answering the phone no more. So they were just out there looking on their own. And I would like, hey, well, if you ever need me, here's my card. And then they would call me. In high school, I watched a lot of YouTube. Throughout my real estate career, I would start doing channels with my friends where I learned how to edit, and we would do like movie reviews and game reviews. You'll never see those videos, don't find them. And we would like record on the green screen. So I would spend hours editing and thinking like, this is gonna be my way to get out of real estate and get a job. And it wouldn't work, and I would stop and I'd go back, let's focus on real estate. And then I would try to come back and watch a Gary Vaynerchuk video and be like, you know what, I'm gonna vlog me and my family going to the fair and it's gonna be great. And it didn't work out. Political videos, I've done it all. I tried podcasting. I would keep trying these different videos, but they were done with the intention of benefiting me, not necessarily benefiting the viewers. In July of 2016, 17, 18, shoot, I'm bad with years. My daughter was born. And when my daughter was born, I took 2-3 months off, as I did with my son. Well, I stopped, and when I came back to working again, I had no leads. I needed some kind of source of real estate, so I didn't want to pay for Zillow. So I was like, I'm going to use Facebook. So I started getting deep into Facebook ads and how people are getting, people reach out to people on Facebook and all that stuff. And in my research, I would be digging, and I found a realtor who was doing Facebook ads of these beautiful houses, and they would say 0 down. Buy this house for $700 monthly payment today. Clearly a fair housing violation, and I'm sure Truth in Lending Act, all kinds of violations there. But I looked at the comments, and he was getting a lot of replies. Like people were like, "I'm very interested. Please check it out." I got upset, And I looked inwardly. I'm like, why am I upset here? Am I upset at this realtor? Kind of. I am a little bit. Am I upset at the people for falling for it? And I said, no, it's not their fault. They don't know what they don't know. When someone doesn't know what they know, they don't know. Someone doesn't know and they see this ad. I mean, why not believe these people? Their license. You would think you would believe them, right? So this anger turned into saltiness. At this point, I was 4 or 5 years in the business. Well, I think it was 4 to 5 years. I don't remember. I say in my most popular video, I say, I've been in business 4 or 5 years. What did I say? In my almost 5 years of helping folks buy and sell their home, I got my camera that I've invested in. I knew how to edit at that point because I had all these failed attempts. I thought my most valuable conversations happen when I meet people in person. Because even at this point, even open houses, I always had the big belief of educating people first. Like, I'm not gonna go show you houses yet until I sit you down and I teach you how to buy a house. I want you to learn, I want you to understand. That way we have a better experience. And they would leave my office thinking, man, I feel great. Yeah, I'm ready to buy a house. I know what to do. I sat down, I had an office then. I pulled out my little point and shoot. And the first video I made was, I think, how to buy a house in your 20s or something. I said, the first video I'm gonna make is I'm gonna talk about something that's benefited me. I was nervous talking about this because I've never talked personally about stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna talk about how I bought a house in my early 20s, how we benefited from it. My first video, you can watch it now, it's still up. It wasn't the best video. It was kind of stuttering. You hear editing mistakes, and that was kind of the talking. It wasn't very clear, but so it resonated with some people, and I got a few views, like 5-10 views. And then I remember, I think the day I recorded my second video, I went back on Facebook and I saw it was still working and people were still falling for it. And literally, I think it might have been the day of or the day before. It was so long ago, I don't remember. I was so infuriated, like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna pull my camera out and I'm gonna talk to it like it's my client. I'm not gonna talk to it to help me, to get me clients, to do anything. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna talk to that and talk to those people in that comment description who think it's only $500 to buy a house. I want to show them what the actual cost of buying a house is gonna be. I think I made 1 or 2 more, and I saw it was getting like 5 views, and I was like, I give up again. I gave up this channel. It was November, I think, at the time. I came back January. I took December off. I came back and I saw that I had 100 or 1,000 views, and I almost had like 89 or 90 subscribers. Who is texting me in a video? I was like, oh, I got almost 100 subscribers. And I didn't do anything. I'm gonna keep making videos. I'm making weekly videos, and I made sure the videos were not to benefit me, not to get clients, not to get leads. It was, I'm gonna focus on what I can do to help the people that are watching. What questions do they have that I can answer? I'm tired of making videos that I think you want to know. What answers do you want to know? And I started making them, and my editing slowly improved. My video quality slowly improved. I think by March I had my first call, or February I believe it was, I don't remember. My first call was someone saying, Javier, I've been watching your videos. I actually live in Buckeye. Would you help me buy a house? And now I'm at the point where basically all my business comes from YouTube. And not only that, but my actual numbers have grown so much because of my subscribers. So I'm at this point now where I'm just like, this video thing is kind of just blown up, and here I am. At that time, I was already 4 or 5 6 years in the business. I had experience. I knew what I was talking about. The second thing is I had a perception or an attitude about the real estate business already. Most people know by now that when I talk about real estate, I love helping people buy, but the business, the real estate agents and the lenders, I'm not a big fan of. Of course, I already had a bunch of editing skills, and they weren't great at the time, but I knew how to put a video together. And I had the time to do it. So these things kind of just hit the perfect storm. And it happened to resonate the right way with a lot of you, and now I'm here. If I could go back and do it again, guys, honestly, I should have realized that I didn't have the experience and the fortitude and habits to succeed on my own when I got my license at 19. I wish I would have joined a bigger team earlier. If you already have habits and skills and you went to college, or maybe you have previous work experience, you could definitely just go straight to it. But I've never had a job before then, so I didn't know. Those 2 years I did there really accelerated my learning tremendously. Don't feel bad about your numbers. Don't feel bad about your production. Right now, I did I think 40 to 50 houses last year, all by myself. It was really hard. It was very difficult on my own. But here's the thing. I'm at a point now where I have so many people reaching out to me and I have so many clients that sometimes calls get missed. Back in the day when I had one or two clients at a time, I could give them my entire life, my entire experience, answer their phone calls, go see houses at a minute's notice. That's it. I mean, they had my full entire attention. So know that's an asset. It's not necessarily a good thing to be a top producer, you know? It's hard to get a hold of top producers sometimes. And I'm saying that because that might be biting me in the butt. You might have been thinking about calling me, and now you're not going to call me. So I'm saying that to help you if you've been thinking about buying or becoming a realtor. And that's all the time I have, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you liked it, didn't like it. And if you are still watching this and you are interested in trying to become a real estate agent, I actually have a sponsor for this video. Their name is McKissick Learning. They basically provide online courses for pre-licensing for real estate agents across the country. If you have been thinking of becoming a real estate agent, there's a link below. There's some great discounts for you. They're really great. I've done a few CE classes with them, and they're really professional. The layout's really easy to follow. It's really, really great for you guys. If you are a real estate agent already and you watch this, or maybe you're in other fields and you want to get some continuing education classes, you can actually click, there's another link for you, and you can put my name Javier as a code for 20% off. This only works for the CE classes, not for the licensing classes. They don't give me a code for that one, but for CE classes, they usually don't have discounts on that one, which is why I got one. So anyways, guys, if you click them out and you check it out, it does help the channel. So they are a sponsor / affiliate. So I just know that, I want to disclose that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you are looking for a real estate agent in the Phoenix, Arizona area, I am your guy. My contact information is below. Feel free to DM me, message me, call me, MySpace me. Let me know what the status is. I don't know how to end the video. Thank you.